back on my healing journey, I realized just how much of it really had to do with me coming back to myself. Coming back to the me that has always existed and who always was but never felt comfortable in her own skin. I recently went through one of my old journal entries from grade 8. That was more than 10 years ago. And that was my very first journal, and still is my only journal. Back then, I never started journaling for any particular reason other than it being a form of expression. I wrote in my journal the things I couldn't tell anyone else. I wrote what I was really feeling when I had a crush on a guy that didn't like me back, or my friend said something hurtful, but I was too afraid to tell them how I really felt. I told them off in my journal. I vented to my journal. I told my journal everything I was feeling, the good, the bad, the ugly, and some of it was really ugly, still hurtful to read to this day. Through these writings, I analyzed my mind and my thought process, and even at the age of 13, I was able to come to really fascinating conclusions that still run true to this day. Journaling was something I did intuitively. Wellness and healing, these weren't things back then. I was 13. All I knew was that I was feeling these things, and that if I didn't get out the pen and paper to write, I would literally explode. All I knew to do with my emotions was vent, and I vented through writing. My writings then became poetry, then songs, and later rhythms. I taught myself a couple songs on the piano once because I wanted to start singing my own songs. I loved to sing. Everyone that knows me knows I love to sing. Not any good at it, but I love to do it. Anyways, I share this story of my past because it has made me realize just how much of healing really is coming back and remembering our true selves. It is embracing the parts of ourselves that we have been so afraid to share for fear of judgment or disapproval. I learned this recently, and it's been ringing true in everything that I do. In the way that I dress, I no longer seek to look a certain way, but instead feel a certain way. Confident, comfortable, authentic. In the way that I spend my time, I fill my day with creation and connection, because that is what fills my spirit. All in all, this has been a journey of healing, and it still is a journey of healing. There are so many things and so many topics that I want to dive into, and so I think that is what I will do here. We will dive deep into the parts of our minds and hearts to uncover the truth of who we really are, our soul selves, and through that we can heal ourselves. We can understand the world and God through a spiritual lens, through a lens that not only focuses on the physical, but the mental and spiritual. Since we're on the topic of diving deep, I want to talk about a pivotal moment in my life. A pivotal moment for me was when I learned about love. Now, there's a whole story on how I came to understand what love really is, and in a way had an awakening. But today I want to talk about the true essence of love, and God's love in particular, the spirit of love. What is love? What is its essence? Because when we understand the essence of love, we can then begin to understand the essence of God. Let's get into it. Love is patience. It is not quick to cut off a friend because of their mistakes. Love takes time to understand their heart, their inner workings. Love is kind. It is kind in fits of anger. It spreads good words and a positive perspective in all directions. It guides others to the light through words. It doesn't use words or violence to get its point across. It allows its gentleness to soften the hearts around them. Love keeps no records of being wronged. It is forgiving because it understands that forgiveness is more about the self than it is about the other. That forgiveness allows us to make space in our hearts to carry light-hearted things, rather than bitterness and anger, the things that will destroy us from the inside out. Love rejoices whenever the truth wins out. It isn't deceitful or dishonest. It doesn't aim to manipulate others for their benefit. It believes in one truth, that everything done in the dark will come to light, and so it chooses truth and rejoices in the light. Love is hopeful. It doesn't matter how down and out you are, or how far away from the goalpost you get, or how damaged and hurt you feel. Love believes in redemption, that in our continuous movement, all things will be worked out. It doesn't look at life from a glass half empty perspective. It is optimistic in the dark times, and so understands that all things will work together for the good. And so love is light. It walks with a grin and a shine to its eye. It greets others with an excitement simply because it's a new day. And in a new day is a new opportunity. God is love. God is the essence of love that never runs out. He is infinite love. For anyone on a healing journey, I want you to understand the essence of love. I want you to understand that along your journey, you will be called to love others and love yourself. It is a part of the journey. It is really the entire journey, learning to love one another and in return love ourselves. Love in a way that isn't superficial or self-pleasing, but to love in a way that is service. I want to thank you guys for listening to this part of my journey. I hope to share more soon, but until next time, love and life to you all.